Tornadoes formed during Hurricane Milton. Hurricane Milton made landfall in Florida, accompanied by 19 intense tornadoes believed to have been caused by wind shear and the instability from heat and moisture in the atmosphere. The hurricane hit Florida with winds of 193 kilometers per hour, making it a Category 3 storm on the U.S. 5-tier scale at around 8:30 p.m. on October 9th, 30 a.m. on October 10th, Hanoi time. However, heavy rain, strong winds, and severe tornadoes had already impacted Florida before the hurricane reached the coast. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis reported that at least 19 tornadoes occurred in the state, and 116 tornado warnings were issued statewide. St. Lucie County Sheriff Keith Pearson mentioned that several people were killed at Spanish Lakes Country Club due to the tornadoes, though no specific details were provided. Tornadoes accompanying hurricanes are not uncommon, occurring in over 80% of storms that make landfall in the Gulf of Mexico region. However, it's unusual for tornadoes to be so visible before the storm itself, according to meteorology professor William Gallas from Iowa State University. The number of tornadoes is surprising, and they look similar to tornadoes in the North American Great Plains. They are very large, he noted. There are two key ingredients needed for a hurricane to generate tornadoes, increasing its destructive power. The first is atmospheric instability caused by heat and moisture. The second is the difference in wind speed and direction at different altitudes, known as wind shear. Hurricanes over water usually experience relatively low wind shear because there is minimal friction between the storm and the ocean. It's like a giant rotating cylinder, so the surface wind is not very different from the wind aloft, Gallas explained. But this changes when the storm moves over land. Friction with the ground slows the low-level winds and pushes them toward the storm's center. If the air is hot and moist enough, these strong winds can create tornadoes. In Milton's case, as the hurricane neared land, the bands of wind ahead of the storm's core reached the coast, creating wind shear and triggering tornadoes. You suddenly create a situation where wind speed and direction differ from winds higher up, said Jana Hauser, Associate Professor of Meteorology at Ohio University, explaining how hurricanes generate tornadoes. This wind shear can cause air to rotate. Initially, this creates a horizontally rotating column of air, parallel to the ground. Like any thunderstorm, the thunderstorms within the hurricane produce strong upward drafts of air. These updrafts can tilt the rotating column of air upright, forming tornadoes. If the updrafts are particularly strong, the spinning air column becomes more compressed, with a smaller diameter. When this happens, the tornado can become stronger, similar to how a figure skater speeds up by pulling their arms in. Alongside other hurricane dangers, like storm surges and heavy rain, tornadoes can cause significant damage. According to an estimate from the Bulletin of the American Meteorological Society, about 3% of hurricane-related deaths in the U.S. are caused by tornadoes. An older estimate put this number at 10%. These tornadoes could become more frequent as climate change increases temperatures in the lower atmosphere, boosting instability conducive to tornado formation. In a recent study, Gallas and his colleagues simulated the behavior of 4 hurricanes, Ivan, Katrina, Rita, and Harvey, mid-century in a scenario of global warming caused by high emissions. They found that the number of tornadoes accompanying each storm increased significantly, from 56% for Hurricane Harvey to 299% for Hurricane Katrina.